Hello there. In this tutorial, I'm going to teach you how to install MultiChain on a virtual box and get used to it. Um, so my name is Makoya. My details are there on the screen in case you need them. I'm going to get into the specific details without wasting much time. Talk about what you're going to cover in this video. The first assumption is that you are good at following simple procedures. Right. You will enjoy the journey definitely if you follow through carefully. So the first thing that we're going to do is to install Ubuntu system server on Oracle VirtualBox. After which we'll configure the network. So my assumption, which is the second one, is that you've already installed VirtualBox on your Oracle VirtualBox on your machine, like myself. So I'm gonna go to the virtual machine, which it's 3 hours away or so from near the site in Zimbabwe. So I see the Google page like that. Okay, funny enough, I'm going to open the VirtualBox that I've installed. New machine. What are you going to name it? Let's name it MultiChain. Going to name it MultiChain. The type of operating system we will use is Linux Ubuntu 64-bit, which is the default. I'll leave that as the RAM. Okay, and then create our machine. Although I'm going to reduce a little bit size because you're going to clone it. Many times. But it's up to you whatever value you put, as long as it's bigger, maybe 3 times bigger than the OS. Don't know what whatever guidelines are there. Create. Okay, now we have done something important. The next thing now is to actually install the operating system. So we're going to start the virtual machine. Okay, and then select an ISO image. So in this case I have the ISO image here. You can download it from, we would be using Ubuntu server for this installation. Ubuntu server 16, please note, Ubuntu server 16, and I assume your machine is virtualization enabled and stuff. Okay, so I'm gonna start the installation. So that was very fast, but I just selected English as my default language. Then we go to install Ubuntu server. Okay, English again. Select your country, territory, or area. In my case, I'm in Zimbabwe. Detect keyboard, no, because I'm using the default keyboard, I mean the common one. Okay, while that happens, we're going to multitask in this video. So I'm going to go to the website multichain.com so that you get familiar with it if you didn't know. Alright, still detecting network hardware. So on this MultiChain website, we will find almost everything that we need to get started with MultiChain. right? You can go on and read, but I'll go to download MultiChain so that you see what is actually there on the website. So we're given the system requirements. I think we meet them. That's why we created a virtual machine on Ubuntu, blah 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 and stuff. Okay, and then the installation part we had to get there, but this page is very useful for getting started with MultiChain. But since we're watching a video, we're going to make these things easier. So okay, our virtual machine is now asking us for some information. Please enter the host name for the system. Okay, we can say MultiChain again, right? Then enter the full name for the user. MultiChain. Username for your account. MultiChain. Choose a password for the new user. You can choose your own password. The system says the password is weak, but for the purpose of the tutorial, I would okay, let me use a strong password. Encrypt home directory, no. I will wait for that. It now says based on your physical location. Okay, it's something to do with the time. So I selected yes if it didn't recon. Then now get to the installation part. Guided, use the entire disk and set up LVM. Yes. Then that is our partition. Yes. Yes. Yes, we can. 4 gig installed. Yes, we can. Write changes to this disk. Yes, we can. What else do you need? Okay, it's now installing the system to the disk. Right. So what I was saying about the website is that you'll find lots of important information, MultiChain Explorer, and web demo. But this video basically is about downloading and installing MultiChain on a VirtualBox, and then getting started with it as well. And then finally, we are going to look at the MultiChain Explorer. In the next series of the video, we are going to look at the MultiChain web demo, which is still a work in progress. So I would put that aside. Okay. How far have we gone with our system? Almost there. So okay, while the system is installing, I would talk about the whole purpose why we're doing this. Okay, this thing is called blockchains, right? So what is a blockchain and what is a multi-chain, and where do these things come? So I will exploit Google in as much as we would have done to define a blockchain. So what is a blockchain? What does Wikipedia say? Blockchain definition. Okay, let's look for that. A blockchain is a public ledger of all Bitcoin transactions that have ever been executed. Well, this is a general definition. What can we say? A blockchain is a chain of blocks. Like those blocks are ledgers. So it's a continuous chain of distributed ledgers. Right, HTTP proxy. I'll leave blank for none. So with multi-chain, you are able to deploy your own private blockchain. That's the main thing about multi-chain. The fact that you're able to make your own private blockchain. Why? For instance, you might be a bank or a financial service provider or an academic institution, whatever, depending on your specific needs and problems, where you want to have replicated database across the entire organization, a database that is immutable, that cannot be deleted. So that's why we probably make use of MultiChain. MultiChain is something that was developed by Greenspan. I would recommend that you read the white paper. This one, the MultiChain white paper, the MultiChain one page, a MultiChain presentation, and about private blockchains. So as to feel yourself more about this whole thing, lest I tell you lies. I'm good at the doing, but not the speaking. And also, before we continue this video, I would like to inform you that English is not my first language, so you'll allow me to break the rules of the language here and there, but the objective at the end of the day is to deliver information that someone may find useful. So sometimes you'll not hear anything from me while I just do the commands. Okay, so all right, while you wait for the installation in VirtualBox, I believe that it would be time for you to read those white papers that I highlighted. But for now, I'm going to just skip to the next session, where we are saying this thing that you are seeing, the 3 minutes 40 watt, will be done, because it will depend actually on your internet connection and stuff. But still, if you have no internet connection, like when you're doing this, you can still complete the installation, assuming you've already downloaded the ISOs. But this will get things updated in time. Maybe we're going to need this and that. Yes. Yes, we can. Finally, our installation is complete. Continue. System will automatically reboot. Then we get started. We are yet to start. We are yet to start. So here is our virtual machine. We have to log in using our username that was applied earlier on. I remember it was MultiChain. The password was the password that's supplied. Now, having logged in, I need to first of all create a root, whatever root access user password, pseudo password. enter our, first of all, enter our, okay, I'm not teaching you how to create a root user, but in case there are guys who haven't done these things before, you know, you have to have a Unix password. So let's test it through, and then that now we have root access. So the first thing that we want to do is to power off our virtual machine. Right now it's powered off, and then we edit network settings. Instead of it being NAT, we change to bridged adapter. That is important for the purpose of our exercise, so don't overlook that. Besides that, we need to change nothing else. Let me start it again. Okay, our server is starting again. So what I'm saying, by the end of this tutorial, you'll be a pro in this thing, in MultiChain, and possibly you'll be able to create your own cryptocurrency, issue assets and stuff, whatever is in your mind. Okay, so going to log in as a root user to do some basic things. App gets update. And also check our IP. Okay, so now the problem with this IP is that it will change every time the machine reboots. So in this case, it's not static. So you need to make a static IP for the purpose of this study. So you have to edit the interfaces file. So you see it says DSCP, so you need to change to static. And what we put there, the address. As you saw earlier on, my IP scheme is such that it's 192.168.1.1. Alright, so we have to stick to IP scheme. If your router is 10. What you have to stick to that. So I'm going to stick with my IP scheme. Let's give it an IP. So let's say 2017. Okay, let's say 207. We can do up to 255, is it? So 192.168.1.207 is going to be the IP that you're going to be using for our MultiChain thing. Netmask. Okay, what else do we need? The DNS. Of course, if you're MIT, whatever, you can put what you want there. But it's just the basics. But then if they want our thing to even connect to the internet. So you have to be careful in terms of spellings. I'm just double checking mine as well. And you know what I'm saying? Alright, and then if yourself save the file, Control X, yes. Alright, then the next thing is to restart network services, and then get a new IP. Okay, how do you do that? Let's see. To init. What's wrong with my spelling? Oh, I figured it out. It should be networking, not network. Networking. So it should be let's init.the networking restart. So then we get our IP. Let's try to reboot the PC as well. Okay. Check our IP. Now we can see there it says that on that line init address 192.168.1.207. So I don't know in your case with your IP scheme, but would use that address later on when we are configuring the multi-chain. So far so good. How can we check that we are connected to the internet? Maybe pick Google. We're up, which is good. Okay. What next? Okay, so going back to the website, I hope you didn't see that I was checking how to restart network services. I had actually forgot I have a 1 kilobit memory. Yeah, so I forget things every second. So what do we want from this website? We want to download the latest version of MultiChain. So I'll copy the link location. Okay, actually since we will be working with VirtualBox, we need to be able to SSH to the virtual machine, right?